fans would one day actually threaten to ruin his tombstone. His grave in a famous Paris cemetery has proved so popular that a protective glass barrier has now been put around it. Christian Fraser has this report from the French capital.
No object is so beautiful that under certain conditions it will not look ugly, so said Oscar Wilde. It might also have been said by those who tended the writer's grave, for in the past few years this flying angel statue was stained by the graffiti and lipstick of the legions of adoring fans. And such was the risk of irreparable damage to Jacob Epstein's creation, they've been forced to protect the refurbished tomb with a glass screen. Today, on the anniversary of the writer's death, 200 people turned up to mark the official unveiling, including the writer's grandson.
If they'd kissed it simply without lipstick, we wouldn't have had to do this, and it's sad, but the public, regrettably, is a little bit to blame for what we have had to do.
When Oscar Wilde died, they could only afford a burial plot in a pauper's cemetery. But over the years, enough money was raised through the sale of his works to pay for a plot here in Père Lachaise. Actor Rupert Everett, who's been researching Wilde's final few years in Paris for a new screenplay, said British visitors would be shocked at how badly the writer was treated after his disgrace.
And there's tons and tons of witnesses and writings about, people who bumped into him in Paris and people who, people could spit at him or, tell him to leave a restaurant, or he was constantly humiliated by English people abroad.
There are, of course, plenty of other famous tombs in Père Lachaise, including that of Jim Morrison, which attracts the same kind of attention and graffiti. There is, in fact, a €9,000 penalty in place for anyone who's caught defacing the tombs, but since most of those who do it are tourists, they've already left the country by the time the courts have caught up with them. Epstein's statue is as new, though there is one part that has not been repaired, the rather prominent male anatomy of the angel. That's still missing. Some claim it was last seen sitting on the desk of the former cemetery caretaker, who by all accounts used it as a paperweight. Christian Fraser, BBC News, Paris.